Hey guys, today I'm excited to dive into the book ending versus the movie ending and explain both for Knock at the Cabin. Now, this is the newest M. Night Shyamalan film, and it is based off of the book Knock at the End of the World. Now, full warning, there are going to be spoilers, of course, because we're going to be talking about the ending of the movie and the ending of the book, the differences, and all that fun stuff. So if you have not yet seen the movie and you don't want to be spoiled, just bookmark this video and come back later. So the endings are very, very different, okay? I guess I did myself a disservice, I will say. And if you watched my review, you know that I thought this my spoiler-free review, but after reading the book ending, I was like, wow, that is so much better than this movie ending. Everything is subjective, and I definitely get why some people maybe did not want to see that played out on the screen and things were changed. So let's talk about it. Now, the movie ending, we'll dive into that first, okay? So obviously this story is about four strangers who show up at a cabin where a young family is. There's two dads and an adopted daughter who is adorable, by the way. And these strangers show up and are like, yo, you need to make a decision. You need to have one of you die willingly, a willing sacrifice in order to save the world, okay? There's all these things that are going to happen in the apocalypse is going to start, right? There are going to be floods, and then there is going to be what was after the floods. There's going to be a plague, a sickness that everybody is dying from, and then the sky is going to fall, which turns out to be airplanes. And then in the very end, just a blackness, a darkness is going to consume the earth. And if they don't make a sacrifice, well, they'll get to survive, but it'll be just the three of them wandering the scorched earth with nobody else, all right? So what is this family going to do? What would you choose? That is kind of the basis here. And it is similar in the book, okay? But in the movie, we have these four people. This is what happens, like, they say, no, we're not going to do it. And then, okay, well, now we have to sacrifice one of us. And that turns out to be this Redmond, which is Rupert Grint. He is the first one to be sacrificed. He puts this thing over his head. It's crazy. And Eric kind of sees a vision of a figure, a light behind him right before he is killed by his fellow strangers, intruders, whatever you want to call them. Now he does have a concussion, so it's like, is it his concussion that he's seeing? Is it like really a higher being? Now Eric has always been the faithful one. He's a man of faith, definitely in the relationship, and you see that through flashbacks, okay? So it makes sense that he would be like, oh, is this like a message from God? Okay, now after that, they turn on the TV, they see that there's a flood, but you know what? The earthquake had happened before, so it could have all been from that. There was a tsunami, people died, yada, yada. And, you know, Andrew being the very, like, scientific one is like, no. Clearly, they knew, right? The earthquake had already hit before they got here. It was 4 hours before they got here. They knew this was going to happen, whatever, right? So now, sleep on it, figure it out the next day. What's going to happen? They still say no. So the next sacrifice is ordained. So they go to sacrifice her. And then they turn on the TV. And there's this sickness, this plague people are dying from, which, you know, Andrew says, listen, I've been following this for a while. It makes sense. Like, there's already been these deaths. This isn't like a brand new plague that has just popped up. But of course, they're starting to question, right? What exactly is happening? Is this really happening? Is it not happening? And that is where that psychological thriller type thing kind of follows throughout the movie. Is this real, or are these like crazy people? Especially as you start to figure things out. Turns out Redmond actually, that is not his name. He has a different name, O'Bannon. He actually attacked Andrew in a bar because he's gay, basically. That's why he's a total bigot. And he attacked him because he's gay. And he went to jail for it. And then, so was this a random family that they found? Was it not a random family? Did he know it was them? All of these strangers have these visions and they met on this message board. And so now it's kind of getting in your head, like, did Redmond kind of, he mentioned the cabin first. Maybe it was him. Maybe he knew these people were there. And there's all this like conspiracy, is it or isn't, right? But the major differences in the ending here is that Andrew escapes and is able to get his gun. He comes in, there's a struggle. He shoots Sabrina, who is the third stranger to die. She was supposed to die. Anyways, brings forth the next part of the apocalypse. Now they really don't know what's going on because hundreds of planes are literally falling from the sky. Then we get to Leonard's turn, which is Dave Bautista, who's absolutely phenomenal. And he sits down and he says, after this happens, you guys are going to only have a few minutes. They send Gwen to go up into a treehouse, put her headphones on so she doesn't know what is happening. And Leonard kills himself. And then immediately after he dies, it starts to get gloomy and dark and it's raining and all this stuff is going on. Andrew and Eric have this heart-to-heart conversation. Eric says he is at peace. He knows, he just feels like he feels happy. Kill him. It's hard. It's a struggle. Andrew goes ahead and kills him, gets Gwen. They leave. They head to a diner where they see on the news that everything is starting to stop. Planes are no longer crashing. The plague, things have turned around and people aren't dying anymore. So it kind of makes you think, oh, okay. So they did stop the apocalypse. This was necessary. This was true. They get in the car and Boogie Shoes plays, which is the song that Eric played for them on the way to their vacation on the cabin. Kind of as a sign Eric is okay. This was the right choice. That is the movie. Now the book, which I felt was far superior, plays out very similarly. However, there was only one sacrifice of the four, let's just call them the horsemen, right? That's kind of what they say they are, the four horsemen, which I did love. So Rupert Grint's character there, he's dead, right? Redmond's already dead. Okay. Then there's this struggle for the gun. Andrew goes and gets the gun. He comes in, he's struggling, whatever. And Gwen accidentally gets shot. Okay. Well, first of all, he killed Ardane himself. And then Gwen accidentally gets shot and killed. The little girl is dead. So I see why they shied away from this, right? However, that kind of starts this whole issue. Leonard kind of starts to be like, okay, listen, unfortunately, this doesn't mean that the apocalypse is ending because she wasn't a willing sacrifice. Like, she was accidentally killed. You guys still have to make a decision, okay? Well, Sabrina doesn't love this. She doesn't know what to do. She starts to get herself confused in her head. We did meet on this message board. What's going on? She kills Leonard and says, I'm done. I don't want any part in this. She brings them all to Redmond's car, kills herself, saying the same thing Leonard said. You'll have a few minutes to decide. Do what you want to do. She kills herself. The two talk it over. Eric contemplates being the one to die, committing suicide, which in the movie they specifically point out you can't do. So that's a little bit of a difference. And then they decide not to. And they kind of say, you know what? We want to be with each other. We've already lost our daughter. It is what it is, and the book ends without you knowing if this was true or not, right? Was this a delusion from these strangers? Is the apocalypse really starting? Who knows? And I like that ambiguous ending better, kind of gets you thinking. Now, well, obviously, it would have been a lot to show this young girl die on screen. They easily could have had the struggle kill either Eric or Andrew and still sort of played out the same way with Gwen and whoever remaining father was kind of having this conversation. Will we or won't we? Now we just want each other. We're going to live together, just us. That maybe would have been better. Who knows? You guys let me know which ending you prefer. Personally, like I said, I prefer the book ending. I kind of like the ambiguity of ending. The movie was very much like, oh yeah, the apocalypse was happening. Like, planes were falling from the sky. Like, there's no question. Obviously, the sky cleared up even after Eric was killed. So yeah, definitely the apocalypse was coming. Well, that is interesting. I just like the kind of, oh my gosh, I don't really know exactly what was going on ending better. Well, there you have it. Knock at the Cabin is in theaters now. If you haven't seen it, I just totally ruined it for you, but that's your fault for watching the video. You can head to theaters and see it now. Let me know your thoughts about the endings down below in the comments. Thank you so much to all my monetary supporters, my members, and my Patreons. Love you guys.